everyone. Welcome to the latest in our LinkedIn Live Leadership Conversations. I'm Barry Winkles, CSO of CPL and Head of the Future Work Institute. I'm delighted today to be joined by Alan Burton, Vice President and General Manager of Fiserv's Technology Centre in Nenagh. Hi Alan, good to see you.
Hi Barry, good to see you too.
Now, before we kick into the interview, guys, I would like to highlight that we will be taking some questions via the chat stream on LinkedIn Live, which we'll get to at the end of the interview. Excuse me. So, Alan, Fiserv very much at the frontiers of payment technology, very much at the frontiers of fintech. Can you tell us a little bit about Fiserv? You know what it does and how it does it. A little bit about the organisation.
Sure, absolutely, Barry. Yeah, so Fiserv, we're a global fintech and payments company. We have leading solutions across banking, global commerce, merchant acquiring, payments, point of sale. We're global leader, as I said. We're number one in terms of global merchant acquiring. We're number one in terms of global issuer processing. And just to kind of give you a sense of that, we serve over 6 million merchants globally. In terms of issuing, we've over 1 billion card accounts served on a global basis, so big numbers. From a revenue point of view, we do about 15 billion a year in revenue, and globally we've over 44,000 employees. Maybe just to explain a bit in terms of Ireland and Fiserv in Ireland. So in Ireland, we service merchants through our joint venture with AIB Merchant Services. And, in Ireland, maybe the Fiserv name isn't a globally, a well-recognized name, but I think people would recognize these devices. So these are our Clover devices or point-of-sale technology, which I'll talk a bit more about later.
Yeah, it's funny, I know we were speaking about this before the interview. I had my first hot chocolate in the city centre yesterday, and I noticed the Clover symbol on one of the payment devices. So you've enabled me to get back in touch with my favourite hot chocolate in the city centre.
Fantastic, and you will see Clover devices across cafes, restaurants, retail in the Irish market, so they're well recognised. So in Ireland, we employ over 700 people across offices at Dublin and Nenagh in Tipperary. In 2018, at the beginning of 2018, we established the Technology Centre at Nenagh. So, greenfield, brand new technology centre. And again, we'll talk a bit more about that, I'm sure, over the course of the interview. So today at Nenagh, we've got about over 230 employees working across, a diverse range of platforms, products, and solutions in the payment space. So everything from next generation point of sale all the way through to, predictive analytics solutions, leveraging machine learning technology. So very, very broad range.
So I'm going to kind of turn my questions to you a little bit, if you don't mind. So talk to me about Alan. Talk to me, Alan, about your career date before Fiserv and also kind of your career journey in Fiserv, because, it's one of the things I'm always really interested in, people like yourselves, how did you get to here, in terms of your career journey? Yeah,
sure. So going way back when, and I won't say what year.
5 years ago.
Graduated from University of Limerick, Bachelor of Computer Science, and really the first 10 years of my career was very much in technical space and technology. Started as a developer, Java developer, and progressing up through to technical architecture and working mainly in the banking sector, designing architectures for multi-channel architectures for banks. And then, most of that time was spent in Dublin, came back to Limerick and joined actually a startup IT services organization, indigenous IT services organization called Original Solutions. One of the early employees there, but I had the opportunity to move into the management space. So I suppose that's how I moved from technical to management. And, was with them for about 5 years as we grew the company and went through fairly rapid growth, actually, very successful organization. And, you know, it was a great time from a career perspective, because that sort of organization, you get to wear many hats, right? So everything from managing clients to managing P&Ls to managing people. So, you know, kind of, I suppose, learned management skills on the ground with Original Solutions, and then actually went through a couple of acquisitions and ended up as part of Dell. And, you know, spent many years then with Dell running the application development services business for Dell in the region. So then from there, you know, I had the opportunity, then had kind of spotted the announcements around First Data and the investment in Nenagh, and had the opportunity to join the leadership team right from the beginning, and joined the leadership team that was really put in place to stand up the technology center at the beginning of 2018. So initially I joined as director for software engineering, establishing the software engineering function at the site. And, you know, we went through, you know, first 18 months, fairly rapid ramp up. So just to give you a kind of sense, I think we hired the first 100 in about nine months.
We're well aware of that, Alan.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, and absolutely. CPL, of course, great partners in working with us on the ramp up, and continue to support us today in terms of the ramp up that we have. So, and then at the tail end of 2019, I then had the opportunity to take over as the site lead at the technology center. And, you know, today I wear a number of different hats. I'm responsible for the technology center at Nenagh. I also have a broader role from an EMEA point of view around point of sale technology.
And I'm kind of interested, I'll give it a really kind of interesting career date. You know, you've gone from this kind of very technical centric, you know, kind of roles now to being in this more broader, you know, leadership role. I'd love to get a sense of you, you know, kind of over your career journey. What are the kind of 3 or 4 things that you've learned, you know, as a leader? And particularly, I suppose, now that you're in Fiserv, and I know you're very big into, you know, collaborative and inclusive leadership. So can you give me a sense of the kind of 3 or 4 things, either easy learned or hard learned, you know, over your career that you're kind of bringing in to your role in Fiserv today?
Yeah, I think, you know, one of the key things, and one of the opportunities we had, you know, as a leadership team at Nenagh in terms of setting up the centre, was really, you know, focusing on building a centre that, you know, is sustainable, will, you know, grow, be successful, you know, deliver against our commitments. And ultimately, you know, the key ingredient to that is the people and the culture. And, you know, we were right from, you know, day one, we've placed a huge amount of emphasis in terms of the culture at Nenagh. And that's been, you know, I think a critical element in terms of what we've been building. And, you know, I suppose we very consciously designed the culture around, you know, what we are looking to build from in terms of the value we wanted to deliver to the business. And really, you know, it's about that high collaborative environment. High trust environment is a key element, and, you know, trust underpinning our culture. We engaged very early on with the Great Place to Work Institute, and, you know, we used their trust model as the framework in terms of how we designed our culture. And that's built, I don't know, you know, I know CPL also would participate in Great Place to Work, but that's built around, you know, 5 key dimensions, really: credibility, respect, fairness, pride, collaboration. So it was really consciously focusing on our culture, looking at building that out around those pillars, and then, you know, participating in Great Place to Work kind of brings that continuous focus in terms of how do we improve. So it's about constantly looking at our culture, looking at how it's evolving, and ensuring that we don't lose that focus over time. I think as well, there's a real sense of we're all on a journey together, and we have, and we all, if you look at, we've been ramping up over the last 3 years, so there isn't really anyone with long tenure at the site. And there is really that sense that we're all on a journey together, and it's really about, we have a vision for the technology center at Nenagh, which is really that Nenagh becomes the global epicenter for progressive technology for Fiserv. So it's that common purpose, that common goal, and really bringing everyone on a journey. So that's gives us a real sense of togetherness as a team at Nenagh. We're also very conscious as well, our location as a technology center in a relatively small town in County Tipperary. We are one of the largest employers in the town. We're very conscious of that, and we not only want to have a positive impact in terms of Fiserv and our customers, but also with the wider community. So, that kind of reach and active engagement with the community is really, really important to us. We have a lot of different initiatives that we run in terms of engaging with the schools. We run TY programs. We also have a scholarship program for students coming out of the local schools and wanting to get into technology. That's a scholarship we're running with LIT. And we participate charity events. We've lots of different initiatives there. We run Coder Dojo, or we did when pre-COVID, something we're looking forward to getting back to. So all of those elements really are important for us.
So interesting. Now we're kind of starting to talk about, specifically around the technology center in Fiserv. You have a big vision. So can we talk a little bit more around, what's going on specifically in the technology center in Nenagh at this moment in time? Because I know you guys have lots of really interesting projects on there. Lots of different business divisions. Lots of different, shall we say, opportunities for people to really get stuck into really interesting projects. So you give us a sense of, what's happening on the ground, the technology center, big vision, how are you kind of getting there? What's kind of stuff going on there at the moment?
Yeah. So, and if I look at it in terms of the different market segments that we serve, yeah. So if you take the small and medium business, first of all, and, our proposition to the market is really built around our Clover ecosystem. And, Clover is not just a point of sale technology, it's a full business solution. So really what it offers to merchants is the capability for merchants to effectively run their entire business on the Clover platform. So, with the point of sale products, they run on Android. We have an app marketplace where third-party developers can develop apps. So, loyalty applications, maybe, inventory management, etc. Those sort of applications are available through the app market. So that entire ecosystem is really designed to provide a full business solution for merchants. And that's a key differentiator for Fiserv and for Clover in the market. So, where Clover has been going through, I would say, hyper growth. We've been, taking that proposition global, and that aspect of our business has been growing rapidly. We're investing heavily in terms of the technology behind that and the products and solutions that we're offering to the small and medium business merchants. And that's one of the big areas in which we're investing in from a Nenagh point of view, in terms of building teams that will be developing the next generation of Clover ecosystem and products and solutions. So that's one of the key focus areas for us from a future perspective. The other segment then, if you look at large enterprise, clients, they have very different needs than the small and medium business merchants. And there it's really where we compete, and I suppose where we have a competitive advantage in the market is our global reach and our global scale. And, the challenge that large enterprise merchants are facing today, and really, if you look at what's happened with COVID and the pandemic, is really accelerated the move from bricks and mortar to digital channels and e-com channels. And we're very much now in the era of omni-commerce, omni-channel, and that creates challenges for merchants, but also fantastic opportunities for large enterprise merchants, where they can really transform how they're interacting with their customers and how they're serving their customers. So again, we launched the Carrot proposition to the market. Behind Carrot, we are investing heavily in terms of our technology and the platform behind that, and we're building a platform that really enables quick, easy integration for large enterprise merchants to enable scan and go, order ahead, voice command, endless aisle, connected card, those sort of use cases. So that's another area, again, fantastic opportunity for Fiserv in the market, but also from an Nenagh Technology Centre perspective, we're building out technology teams there.
Yeah, gotcha. So look, obviously really exciting, lots of really interesting projects, and I know when we spoke before, it was really eye-opening to me around Fiserv and the kind of things you guys are doing. I suppose, look, at all of these things, it's all about people. It's all about people ultimately drive these projects, drive this innovation. And I'm just kind of, I knew you guys are a major ramp up. You're on the lookout for candidates. You're on the lookout for the right type of people to kind of join the technology centre there. Just kind of to finish off, before we go to a couple of questions, what are the kind of characteristics you're looking for in the people that might think about joining Fiserv? What kind of comes to mind?
Yeah, I think, first of all, we're looking for collaborators, right? And one of the important aspects in terms of, building new product propositions is really about diversity and embracing diversity across the organization. And, we want people that approach problems in different ways and to come, collectively together in terms of solving difficult problems. So it's people who like to solve problems, that they collaborate and work well in a team. It is quite a fast-paced environment at the technology centre. Technology is constantly evolving. Time to market is important. So, comfortable working in a fast-paced environment. Strong focus on customers. Ultimately, it's about, it's not just about technology for technology's sake. Ultimately, we're here to, serve our customers. So, strong customer centricity. I would say hungry to learn. As I said, technology is continuously evolving. So, that hunger to learn is important. So I think, look, there are some of the key elements of what we look for in terms of people at Fiserv.
Yeah, thanks, Alan. So I have to say, you're getting lots of compliments here, Alan. So I don't want to read them out because I don't want to give you a large ego. But I would say a couple of really interesting things. I think number one, you're speaking about diversity. There will be a huge amount of people from all over the world actually tuning into this, which is really, really good, really interesting. And there are a few questions coming in. Hi, Alan. Congrats to you and the team, the journey so far. I'm interested in something you mentioned about moving from tech to management. What would you say to anyone looking at making a similar move, and your thoughts on how the opportunity in Fiserv might facilitate that? So that's a meaty question, Alan. So hopefully you can kind of get your teeth into that one.
Yeah, no, really good question. So, we one of the things is really about, well, first of all, understanding, individually what the aspiration is from a career perspective. And I think that's something, from in terms of the management culture at Fiserv Nenagh is really making sure that, we are sitting down with our team members, really understanding career aspirations. And it's about then, working between the manager and the employee in terms of mapping that out and what that journey looks like and what are the, supports needed to develop your career in that direction. So I think, that's key. And then it's about, having the opportunities to progress in that direction. And I think that's one of the things from, as a centre that's growing, significantly year on year, that creates opportunities. And we are, and I know Paul Deegan, who's the HR director at Nenagh, would often say, multiple careers under the one roof. So, and that's really, as we grow, that presents opportunities for people to progress. And we very much promote internal mobility within the centre at Nenagh, where, as roles materialize that might align with someone's career aspirations, that they have that opportunity.
Yeah, okay, great, thanks, Alan. So one final question around, you have a really exciting vision for the Fiserv Technology Centre. What does 5 years look like from now, Alan, in terms of, where you'd love to see not just the technology centre, but the people within the technology centre? What looks amazing to you in 5 years' time? Given that you're so young and you have a massive career development ahead of you, Alan.
Yeah, so look, 5 years from now, I think it's really about, continuing to scale the centre, possibly having, we've got a building that's capable of holding 300 people. I'd love to see that as 2 buildings capable of, holding 600 people, and then continuing to scale that up. To realize that vision, it's really about, being at the center of the strategic products and solutions that Fiserv offer to the market on a global basis. So it's really about, Nenagh really being in the center of that and continuing to play a very leading role in terms of future strategy, not only from a technology perspective, but also in terms of the product direction and solution direction. So, that's where we'd love to see things evolve. And hopefully in 5 years' time, Barry would be sitting down having a chat about the realization.
I have a funny feeling, Alan, we will actually. Yeah, I have a funny feeling we will. So, Alan, listen, I just want to say thank you very much. Guys, thank you to everybody who's kind of tuned in. We've got a massive amount of people from all over the world coming in for this one. What I would say, guys, look, Fiserv, really fascinating company. We've had lots of great experiences working with Fiserv, really interesting projects and a really exciting roadmap. So please feel free to reach out. If you've got the right characteristics and capabilities, reach out to the guys in Fiserv. Great company, great culture. And I think with that, Alan, final thank you to you. And we will leave it at that. And as I said, guys, thank you all for listening. And now we've come to the end of our latest LinkedIn Live Leadership Conversation. So thank you all.
Thanks very much, Barry.
Thanks, Alan. Take care.